everyone. Today I am going to demonstrate the egg in a nest bagel. It is very delicious. It's great for breakfast, but it's also great for lunch or a combination, which is brunch. So I'm going to demonstrate it, and then hopefully this will be something that you want to make at home. All right, so first, step one is preheat the oven to 400 degrees. So I already turned on my oven and it's warming up. It's getting up to 400, so it'll be nice and hot when I put the eggs in there. Step two, spray a regular baking sheet with cooking spray. Okay, so when I have a regular baking sheet, I mean a single layer one, not an air bake or an insulated cookie sheet with the 2 layers. With this, I like to use the single layer cookie sheet because then the bottom of the bagel gets a little bit toastier. Okay, so we're gonna use our cooking spray and do a light layer of spray. Of course, if you're at home and you don't have cooking spray, you can just get a little bit of butter on a paper towel and just do a light layer of butter. That would work too. Okay, step 3. Cut a large hole in the middle of each bagel. All right, so if I look to the top, I need 4 bagel halves. So which obviously is 2 bagels. Now at home, you could use the everything bagel with all the toppings on it. That is really delicious. Here at school, I'll be using the plain bagel because some kids might not like all the different toppings on the everything, but at home, I would probably use the everything bagel. Okay, so the hole that the bagel has is not big enough to hold the eggs. So you have to cut a little bit larger hole. So first of all, you're going to use your knife to cut the 2 halves apart. Okay. Obviously, I'm using a cutting board to cut this on. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut a larger hole in the bagel. And what I like to do is cut it halfway between the center and the outside. So about right here would be halfway between. So like right here, we're gonna cut this around and just kind of use an up and down motion with your knife all the way around halfway between the outside and the inside of the bagel. And then you might have to go around one more time. Okay, and then you are going to keep this inside part because then we're going to toast that also. And that way you have a little bit of toasty bagel that you can dip into your egg. Okay, set that to the side. I'm going to do another one. So again, I'm cutting halfway between the outside and the inside. This is going to be, in school here, this is going to be a 2-person job. So we'll have 2 people doing this at the same time to make it go a little bit quicker. Again, pop this out, keep the inside. I love cooking with eggs. For one thing, they're inexpensive and they're a great source of protein. So really good especially if you're an athlete or you're trying to build muscle, eggs are very good for you. They're inexpensive and they cook quickly and they're delicious. And really you can have eggs any time of the day, not just for breakfast. All right, almost done here. Okay, pop that out. And then there, and I'm gonna move this off to the side. Okay, so now I am on step 4. Spread mayonnaise on the bagels and press them mayonnaise side down onto the baking sheet. Okay. So some kids get a little nervous when they see that this recipe has mayonnaise in it. Don't worry, we're not going to use a lot. You're not going to really taste it. This just helps the bottom of the bagel to get toasty. Okay, so we're going to, it says you need 1 to 2 tablespoons. When it says like 1 to 2, that means it's not an exact measurement. You're just gonna try to get close, between 1 and 2 tablespoons. Since it's not an exact measurement, I really don't need to use a rubber scraper and level it off like we usually do. I can just get like a nice big scoop of mayonnaise, okay? And then I'm gonna use that to butter the edges of this bagel. And so you're not using very much. This also helps it to get toasty, and it helps it to stick to the pan. You're not going to taste it. If you're not a mayonnaise fan, don't worry about it. Okay, so just doing a little bit of here. Okay, and then press it into the pan. Okay, press that down. And then this one. All right. So you can see I don't really need that much mayonnaise. And then press that down. Okay, so you want to kind of seal it or press it firmly into the baking sheet. Okay, now I am on step 5. 5 says press 1 or 2 slices of ham down into the hole of each bagel. Okay, so I'm going to be using this lunch meat ham. This is very thin sliced. So since it's very thin, we're going to be using 2 slices. If it was thicker ham, then you could just use 1 slice. And what you're going to do is kind of press it down in there to make like a little cup for the egg. Okay. There we go. It looks like I got 3 on this one. There's 2. Oh, yeah, 4. Okay, and 2 go here. Okay, so now I've got 2 of the thin slices in each one. Okay, so now I am on step 6. Crack an egg into a liquid measuring cup, then carefully pour the egg into the hole. Okay, so I have found that cracking the egg into the measuring cup works a little better because it's easier to handle it. Otherwise, you could crack it right into the hole of the bagel, but you have more of a chance of missing it. So it's better if you crack it into a liquid measuring cup first. So we're going to tap it on the flat surface and then open it right into the liquid measuring cup. And then you're carefully going to pour it down into the bagel. Now, if it runs out the sides, that's fine. Actually, it tastes really good to get some of the egg white onto the bagel because it kind of gets toasty. But we want to make sure the yolk stays in there, but if the white comes out the sides, perfectly fine. Another thing you could do, if you like more of a scrambled egg, you could scramble this with a fork a little bit in your measuring cup. Now see how this one's running out? Perfectly fine. It tastes really good. Okay, we'll pour this last one in. Okay, and now I'm gonna go over to the sink and wash my hands because I just touched uncooked egg. Washing them with soap. Okay, back over to my demonstration table. Okay, so now I am on step 7. Sprinkle the egg with salt, pepper, and cheese. Okay, so salt and pepper, it says salt and pepper to taste. That means a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper like you like. Now you're gonna wanna use a little extra pepper because remember, eggs are pretty bland. So even if you're not a pepper fan, it's still a good idea to use a lot of pepper with eggs. And then the salt, it is kind of hard to see when it's coming out. So you could either do a pinch of salt on each one, or just when you're pouring the salt, make sure you hold it sideways, not upside down, and just do a little sprinkle. Okay, here we go. And then the cheese. It says I need 1/4 cup cheddar cheese. Now at home, you could use whatever kind of cheese you have. We're gonna be using cheddar shreds today. I'm gonna get a 1/4 cup dry measuring cup and pack the cheese into that measuring cup. There we go. And then I'm gonna sprinkle on some cheese on each one. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I am on step 8, bake for 11 to 13 minutes, depending on how you like your eggs. If you like the egg yolk to be runny, you're gonna cook it for about 11 minutes. And then you can use this bagel that you cut out and kind of dip in the runny yolk, and it's very delicious. If you like your egg yolk to be more firm, cooked through, then you're gonna cook it for 13 minutes. I know I personally like the yolk to be runny, and I like to dip the bagel in there. I know a lot of students like to have the egg more firm. So here at school, we're gonna cook it for the 13 minutes. So I'm gonna come over here to the oven. I'm gonna put on my hot pads. I'm gonna open the door all the way. And set it in here on the top shelf. Shut the door. I'm going to set my timer for 13 minutes. And then I'll push start. Then very important, check to make sure the bake light is still on. And it is, so we're good to go. After the 13 minutes, I'll use my 2 oven mitts, take it out, put it on top of the stove. I'm gonna let it sit for about a minute. That will help the eggs to solidify a little bit more. And then I'll lift them off with a pancake turner onto the plates. And each person will get a bagel with an egg plus one of those little insides for dipping. I hope you try this recipe, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as my family does. Thanks for watching.